The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, South Lane County Fire District, on your new apparatus, job number 30554. Please utilize this job number when referencing your new apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting on the front, you'll find your two front forward-facing sweeps. Located just in the center area, you'll find two open-ended tow hooks. Located onto the bumper, dual forward-facing air horns, electronic siren. Up onto the grill, you'll find two forward-facing emergency lights. You'll find your headlight cluster. On the outside, you'll find your turn indicator. Back down on the extended bumper, you'll find a side-facing warning light. Close-ups here of those images. First, the sweeps down at the bottom. You can also see the air horns in addition with those tow hooks. These sweeps are controlled from inside the dash area. Side-facing warning light. Let's start with the cab of the apparatus from the driver's side. Extended bumper, side-facing emergency warning light. Your headlight cluster with turn indicator. Moving up onto the hood, this is the air inlet. Turn indicator on the right and left fender. Located also in this vicinity, you'll find the hood latch on the right and left side. To gain access to the engine, release both hood latches. In the very center, you'll find a handle to pull toward the front to gain access inside. On the mirrors, you'll find a lower section which is convex, the upper portion which is flat. Moving up to the very top, you'll find 5 forward-facing running lights. Also located at the very top, you'll find a full-width emergency light bar. Let's talk a little bit about the components mid-cab area. First, down at the base, point of entry, step lights, perimeter lighting. Silver tank is going to be your diesel tank, silver cap. Black tank, blue cap. This will be the DEF fill, 4.5 gallons. Located on the side of the body, you'll find two side-facing lights. Also located up on the body itself, you'll find a tank visual indicator. Let's start down at the pump panel. Quick view here. We'll start at the upper left-hand corner. First, starting with the panel latch. This gains access behind the panel. Starting down at the pump intake. This is your master pump intake gauge. Moving up to the top, you'll find your master pump discharge gauge. Moving down at the base, this is the vacuum and pressure test ports. They are currently plugged. Moving up into the blue section, this is your water level indicator. At the very top, you'll find your panel light with additional blank switches. Moving to the center, you'll find your pump boss, throttle and pressure control. Down at the base, you'll find an audible speaker for an audible alarm. You'll also find this green indicator for pump engaged properly. Moving down across the next section, you'll find in yellow the number 1 crosslay. In orange, the number 1 driver's side discharge, 2.5 inch. The number 2 passenger side discharge, 2.5 inch. You'll also find your tank fill and recirculating line. Down to the next set of valves, you'll find the number 2 crosslay, white in color. In green, you'll find your large diameter passenger side discharge.
and you'll also find the tank to pump. Also located in this area, you'll find this warning label regarding be cautious and warning of pressurized caps and the hazards associated with that. Generalized view here of those valves. Let's move over now to the priming instructions. Running your engine at 1000 RPMs while priming. This is your primer for your fire pump, push to prime. Also down, you'll find your maintenance schedule for 150, 200, and 250 PSI. You'll also find your engine cooler. This is a twist, not a pull. 2.5-inch discharge, which we mentioned earlier. Large diameter intake. .5-inch auxiliary inlet. Auto eject air plug, which is your air inlet. Auto eject shore power. Here's some close-ups of those images. This is the auto eject air inlet. To the right, you'll find the pump drain, pull to drain your pump. And on the right, the 20 amp auto eject shore power. Underneath, you'll find the driver's side auxiliary inlet and discharge drains. Upper corner, you'll find a light in addition with a visual indicator for tank water. Let's take a look in this roll-up compartment here and just beneath it. As we look inside this compartment, you'll see behind the boxes there is some components. We'll talk about those next. This is your auto charger. It's currently plugged into a Shoreline outlet, 20 amp. When you're plugged into shore power, this will activate the battery charger. There is a dual compartment here for SCBA bottle storage. It also has safety straps for your bottles. Beneath it is an emergency side-facing light. To the rear, you have a single compartment roll-up style door that has lighting inside. The upper corner, you have an emergency warning light and a side-facing light and marker lights. Talking at the rear of the apparatus, the light cluster on the right and left houses a backup, brake, turn, and emergency light. Located above that on each side, you'll find rigid hose storage locations. You'll also find your ladder for climbing topside. Moving just above that, you'll find rear-facing scene lights. In the center, a backup reverse camera. 2 direct fill 2.5-inch inlets. Your rear chute. And at the base, right and left attachment points or tow hooks. This is your indicator for your water tank level. Let's talk about the rear dump. Located in the center in the round section, you'll find the release pin. Those are the 2.5-inch direct tank fills. You can see the tank chute fully extended. Up above, once again, you can see your backup camera and scene lights. Let's take a look at the side of the apparatus. This is the passenger side. Same configuration in the compartments. Let's talk a little bit about this storage location. This is your equipment rack, which stores the portable water tank. There is an on-off switch and an up and down lever. Currently displayed in the deployed or downward position. On each end of the rack, you'll find warning lights. Let's now move into the dual section of the wheels. In between those, you'll find emergency warning light, in addition with a upward swinging bottle storage door. To the rear, you'll find a compartment, same configuration as the driver's side. Located in the front, you'll find this compartment where the exhaust is located, and also a warning label regarding hot exhaust. We'll talk a little bit about some of the components within the midsection. First, let's start at the top with the access door. This gains access behind the pump panel. Below, you'll find your large diameter intake and also a passenger side 2.5-inch discharge. At the top section, you'll find a side-facing light and also a tank water level indicator. As we move forward to the cab of the apparatus, in the passenger seat area, you'll find warning labels regarding the use of seat belts. This is a 2-person cab. Generalized view inside the cab as we look as a full image here of your apparatus. Let's go ahead and move over to the operator side. You'll find once again warning labels and caution labels on the left-hand door. In addition, just underneath the seat below the comfort controls, you'll find a Pierce placard. It is in yellow. This will indicate the job number, VIN number, gross vehicle weight rating, tire, maximum speed, chassis type. It also has information for the device, fluid capacity, and fluid types. Let's take a general look here of the cab itself with the steering wheel, just to familiarize yourself where things are located. We'll go ahead and start in the upper left-hand corner, just above the vent system. You'll find a placard from Pierce regarding the height, length, gross vehicle weight rating, and also the job number. Is your speed control, resume Excel, set coast for your speed control, and then your dash components of speedometer, tachometer, transmission, water, and oil. Located in the center on the top of the dash, you'll find your monitor for your backup camera. We'll talk a little bit about some of the components within this cab that are specific to your apparatus. Let's start first in the center console area. Starting in the upper portion, these are those road sweeps for the driver's side and passenger side located under the front bumper. You'll also find indicator switches that are green, indicating that your pump is engaged, OK to pump, and OK for pump and roll. You'll also find a warning light in yellow that your rack is possibly ajar or not positioned properly and stowed. Located in the center, you'll find your parking brake, pull to apply, push to reset. You'll also find a protected PTO pump switch, a high idle switch, and an audible alarm reset switch. Moving down to the next set of switches, you'll find an engine brake switch, the engine regen, mirror heat, and differential lock. Also, just next to that, you'll find a future location if you choose to add any additional components. There is a blank for that location. Moving just to the right, you'll find your Pierce information regarding seat belt, green indicating someone is in the seat and belted, red in the seat and not belted. At the very top, you have a do not move truck will illuminate red. Down beneath that is the OK for high idle. And then when you turn your batteries on, you'll find that this green battery switch will light. Just beneath that, hard to see, you can see you have climate control. And now where the arrow is pointing, you have a digital readout here. Close-ups here of the road sweeps, driver's side and passenger side. You can see their indicator switches, which are green and red, depending on the option you choose for open or close. Located in the center, once again, this is the pull to apply your parking brake, push to release. There is also a light just underneath that, and a note here regarding your pump shift at idle speeds only, neutral for stationary pumping, drive for pumping in motion. The OK to pump and roll, and your tank rack down, equipment rack. Generalized view, once again, the Pierce logo here on this dash is your seat information. Regarding green, someone is occupying the seat and their belt is on. Red, not belted. Moving up onto the top, we're going to find that protected PTO switch. They also have in the middle an indicator when the switch has been activated, the high idle switch, and the alarm reset switch. Moving down once again, this is your high-low for your engine brake, your regen switch for regenning your engine, mirror heat, and your locker for your rear axles. Overhead of the operator, you'll find a bank of switches. Let's take a look at those switches next. First, starting in the left is the emergency master, the lower zone warning, rear zone, siren or brake choice, left scene, and right scene. Moving just to the right of these switches, you'll find located in the center your pull string for your air horn, a protected dump master, your rear scene, and the dump valve. A set of future switches to the right of that. Also located in this general vicinity, you'll find your electronic siren and public announcement system. Let's go ahead and look down now. Between the two seats, passenger and driver, you'll find a location here for barrel style 12-volt access. Also the location for map book storage. General view overhead of your apparatus. Congratulations, South Lane County Fire District, Oregon, job number 30554. If you have any questions as to the content of this video, please contact your Hughes Fire sales associate. Congratulations.